Hello and welcome to another episode of Simple Cryptocurrency Reviews presented by Cryptos Chain. In this episode, I'd like to present to you a project on the NEO blockchain called nOS, N-O-S, which is the ticker symbol. And as we can see on their website, nos.io, they are the smart internet for the smart economy. Simply put, decentralized internet. That's what they're trying to achieve. That is their main goal. Now, so we can see on their website here that you can join the token sale, you can download the nOS client, they've got the email address, you can subscribe to their newsletter and the social media channels that you can access via the links below. Now, let's read a bit through the description on the website. So, open backends, nOS decentralized applications, dApps, have open, transparent, and immutable backend code running on smart contract platforms, including NEO and Ethereum. Crypto as utility tokens. When using multiple dApps, users never have to work with different tokens. End users only use their own preferred cryptocurrency tokens, and nOS automatically converts it to the proper amount of tokens required for a specific transaction or invocation, which is absolutely awesome. Now, the nOS Universal Smart Contract USC is generally applicable and it offers popular dApp backend functions such as CRUD and authentication. And finally, decentralized authority. Users can stake nOS tokens to gain voting power on the nOS platform. High quality applications get rewarded and become more discoverable, while users are more protected from low reputation applications. Now, moving on to their team, we can see Dan van Dokteren. He's the founder and CEO of nOS, and he's a developer at the City of Zion. Now, what do we know about City of Zion? They are famous for being the developers that have created the Neon wallet, which is one of the first wallets for NEO to be able to store NEO tokens, right? And we also know that the developers from City of Zion are working on the third decentralized exchange on the NEO blockchain, which is called NEX. Okay, so that's a really interesting aspect. And also we know that NOS and NEX have a partnership, which is another really good thing because they're going to work together. And as you could probably notice, because NEX is a security token, NOS is a utility token. Now, so we can see other people here in the team like Matt Huggins, who's a lead developer, also a developer of the City of Zion. More people from the City of Zion, contributors, Joran Peters, Morris Dalderup. And we can see that there's an advisor, Roger Lim, who's working for Neo Global Capital. He's a founding partner, okay? And he's also an advisor to QLink, TomoChain, Bluzelle, OChain, Open Platform, etc. And interestingly enough, the partners are Neo Global Capital and Moonlight. Now, as you've probably seen my other video where I review Moonlight as well, that's another interesting project, so I do recommend you watch that video. I'm going to post a link at the very end of this video so you guys can directly click on there and it'll take you straight to that video. Now the roadmap, what lies ahead of nOS? What lies ahead for nOS? Sorry. The initial release, April 2018, nOS publishes its GitHub repositories, including MVP client development environment and smart contract backend. Q2 of 2018, the nOS testnet release. So nOS releases first public testnet and end-user client with initial usable decentralized applications, dApps. nOS token generation event, which is in Q3 2018. So nOS will hold a token sale, TG, for each utility token. And also in Q3 2018, nOS Adoption Fund. nOS will launch a Smart Economy Adoption Fund aimed towards improving adoption and development of dApps on nOS. And Q4 2018, Decentralized File System Research. nOS will initiate research and development on peer-to-peer data file sharing methods with the goal of building a completely decentralized open internet. And finally, in 2019 is going to be the year for nOS because nOS 1.0 is going to be released, so the very first version. nOS will release its 1.0 client, publish its smart contracts on the NEO mainnet, and release the nOS Open Internet 1.0. This is the one we're all waiting for to happen to see what impact it's going to have on the market. Now we can see what is nOS. So nOS is a user-friendly desktop and mobile application. Think of nOS as an app store and web browser, a virtual operating system with the ability to access a new decentralized internet. On this new internet, apps work transparently and openly. Your data is safe and it only goes where you want it to go. 1. Websites and apps host their content in a completely open and decentralized manner using neo smart contracts, giving users complete insight about what happens with their data. And 2. When using multiple dApps, users never have to work with different tokens. End users only use Neo's utility token gas, and nOS automatically converts it to the proper amount of NEP5 tokens required for a specific transaction or invocation. This is pretty good. Can I already use it? Yes, the nOS MVP client is available on GitHub. Currently, developers can build nOS apps on their own Neo private net. Soon, nOS will release its testnet where users will be able to interact with the nOS applications. And when is the ICO? So nOS will hold a token generation event TG in Q3 of 2018. Developers who are contributing to nOS or are building apps on nOS will receive priorities in the whitelisting process. If you're looking to contribute or build nOS apps, join our Discord server on the link below. So if you guys are interested in contributing, if you're a developer watching this, don't hesitate to click on that Discord server and contribute. Now, to move on to the white paper. So I've chosen some interesting aspects from the white paper, and one of them is the nOS utility token section. Okay, individual topics below are each to be detailed in the respective documentation. So the nOS utility token, also titled nOS token or nOS, forms the backbone of key platform functionalities. Its utilities include native integration with nOS file system, the decentralized file system, or nOS name service, the dApp gateway, and the decentralized authority. All described utilities of the nOS token are powered by staking mechanisms and selective supply increase. Now we've got the incentive model, selective supply increase, which is SSI. So a common incentive model for network services such as file hosting is to directly transact value, currency, from consumer applications to supplier host. An example of this is cloud-based web hosting, where project owners pay web hosting providers periodically for online storage and computing power. This can be defined as a transactional business model. dApps, which due to their decentralized nature are often open source, MIT licensed and not for profit, may not always implement business models that rely on a direct relationship between consumer, which is the user, and the supplier, which is the application. Therefore, a transactional model for dApp hosting is inefficient, as periodic hosting costs are directly correlated to application popularity. Now, instead of adopting a transactional model, nOS implements a model that is beneficial to all quality participants of the ecosystem, including contributors, application owners, and end users. This model is selective supply increase. Now, what is this? So, SSI is introduce a period of increase in the circulating supply of the nOS utility token. Tokens that are added to the circulating supply are only distributed to contributors to the ecosystem, applications, voters, and network hosting nodes, as a means to incentivize qualitative participation in the network. Now, what are the SSI reward factors? So the number of tokens received by any contributor is collectively decided by 4 factors. Contributing to the network, so contributions to the network, practicing decentralized authority, participating as a file system network node, and maintaining a good reputation are all factors that influence projected rewards via the selective supply increase and the amount of nOS tokens staked. Network participants must stake nOS tokens in order to maintain eligibility for receiving tokens via selective supply increase. The greater the number of staked tokens, the higher potential for SSI rewards. And the staking duration. Predefining a longer period to stake nOS tokens will increase the projected number of tokens received via the selective supply increase. So pretty much what they're trying to say is the longer you stake the nOS tokens, the more you're going to receive back, which is pretty much the same model as the decentralized exchange Nex is going to do if you stake their token for 2 years, which is the maximum. Now, let's move down because I would like to touch on some other steps. So here we've got the SSI diagram. Okay, so here we can see that we've got the decentralized authorities, the nOS dApps, the nOS network and file system nodes. And this information then says that participants are categorized by performance and acquire reputation. And then if you've got a good reputation, you receive nOS through SSI. If you don't have a good reputation, then you don't receive nOS through SSI. So that's how this will work. Now, some other section that I'd like to touch on. So you're going to gain some voting power. Okay, so truthful voters also gain voting power, a factor that defines the user's voting weight. So yeah, you will be able to participate in voting as well using the nOS token. So the other part that I found interesting is this one. Let me go down. Okay, this one. So the domain auction ownership flowchart. So here we can see a flowchart and how you can bid for a domain name. Now, that may sound very similar, very familiar to some of you guys that have watched my video on the Neo name service, which is basically a way to bid for your domain name on the Neo blockchain, but it's like a domain name for your wallet address, whereas this is the domain name as in the website. So basically, like if you have, you may have a domain like, I don't know, myname.neo, for example. So instead of the domain name myname.neo being the domain name for your wallet, it's the actual domain name that people across the globe can access directly. That's where you can host your content. It's just like owning a website, pretty much the domain of a website. So yeah, we can see here a flowchart of how it'll actually work. So you can bid in the exact same fashion, or a very similar fashion at least, to how you do it on Neo name service. So the single highest bidder, if that's true, then it goes to the highest bidder stakes, NOS amount of second highest bid for domain ownership, and the owner maintains ownership of the domain for 1 year. So yeah, like I said, this is quite similar to Neo name service. Now, let's go to the token generation event. This is a really interesting part for most of you. So the NOS token is based on the Neo NEP5 standard and is to be deployed to the Neo blockchain. The tokens can be held on a Neo address using any wallet software that supports the Neo blockchain protocol and NEP5 tokens, including the NOS client. Now, keep in mind this note here. So due to future technical requirements of NOS utility tokens, selective supply increase, NOS may hold a token swap event in the future. Users may be required to undertake specific steps in the future to acquire new tokens during the token swap event. Okay, so probably the reason for doing this is if they're growing too much and the number of tokens that are available in circulation will not be enough, or the total supply will not be enough, they may do a token swap to increase the token count. So that's something to keep in mind, which is not necessarily a bad thing if you consider mass adoption. I mean, for the stuff that these guys are trying to achieve, a decentralized internet, that's quite a big step, you know, and they will need a lot of tokens for that. So yeah. Now the token supply and valuation. So the initial circulating supply is going to be 190 million. The token supply, including tokens not in circulation, which is the total supply, is 450 million, and the initial price per token is going to be valued at 10 cents USD. Now, the USD value of their initial circulating supply is going to be 19 million, and the total supply 45 million. And then we can see the token allocations here. And yeah, public sale is going to get 157.5 million. Company reserve 10 million, Neo Council 22.5, private sales 67.5. These are going to be locked up for 9 months. Ecosystem adoption reserve, vested company token reserve, and locked token incentive and reserve, which is going to be locked for 2 years. So yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to work. And yeah, this is pretty much all I wanted to cover. Please feel free to look at their white paper. if you're interested in learning more about this project. And finally, one last thing before I end this video, I'd like to go to their GitHub because I saw the link on their website, and this is just to give you guys visibility that they are active on this project. So we can see here the last update on GitHub. The last code change was done 15 hours ago. So yeah, that shows us that they are very active. So I may start doing that going forward in my new review videos, because I believe that this is very important. This is an important aspect which shows us that the development team is actively working on the project, and people are not just investing in a project which is going to die out, or which doesn't have any development for months. And we have seen scenarios like this before. Now, yeah, that's all I wanted to cover, guys. Just a kind reminder, I'd like to remind you that when I reach 200 subscribers, I am going to hold a giveaway. It's going to be my second giveaway, and it's going to be on FTW tokens. Watch my FTW giveaway video where I do a demo of the first decentralized blockchain lottery platform on the NEO blockchain. So yeah, I'm gonna post a link to that as well at the end of this video for you guys to have a look. So please, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe to help support my channel, and like the video if you enjoyed what you've seen. Also, please don't forget to follow me on Twitter if you have Twitter, at CryptosChain. You can see the link at the bottom of this stream that I'm doing. Right, so that's all I wanted to say, guys. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I will answer all the questions I get. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you very much. Goodbye.